Hello everyone, my name is Shay and I decided to research and learn a little bit about the depression, anxiety, stress scale for this assignment. So this is also referred to as the DASS for short, and just to provide a little bit of background on depression and anxiety, according to Kring and Johnson in the Abnormal Psychology book from 2018, about 28% of people meet the criteria for anxiety at some point in their lifetime. This makes anxiety the top common category of diagnosis amongst people. And then in addition to that, of the people who do receive treatment for anxiety, about 60% of them end up also meeting the criteria for major depressive disorder as well. So as you can see, there is overlap between the two disorders, and because of the commonalities between the two, but then also how common these disorders are, I know there is a definite chance that I will probably be working with people who experience both anxiety and depression, and that the scale may become useful in the near future in my career. So I just wanted to choose something with the population that I am interested in working with and that I know I will work with, and to kind of get into the properties and just to explain a little bit about this assessment. This assessment, as mentioned in the title, is used to assess depression, anxiety, and stress symptoms. So basically how it works is this is a 42 item assessment. And of these 42 items, the questions that are asked, they cover 3 different categories. Those 3 categories are depression, anxiety, and stress. So when the client or person taking the test, when they are given this test, they will refer back over the past week of their life and they will be asked questions. Some of the questions relate to, as I mentioned, depression. Some will relate to anxiety symptoms, and some will relate to stress symptoms. So a couple of examples of the questions that they will be asked is, I feel terrified. And then they would rate this in Likert style questions on a scale of 0 to 3, 0 being did not apply to me at all, and 3 being applied to me very much or most of the time. So some of the questions are, I felt terrified. Another question would be, I felt that life was meaningless. And so once rating those questions, the test will be assessed and scored, and then the client would be able to review those scores. So this assessment is actually rated very high for reliability and validity, which is one of the most common, initially the most common factor I was looking at, because I wanted to make sure this was a good scale or tool to use in the future. So seeing that this was rated high in validity and reliability, I saw that the reliability, the Cronbach alpha scores were for depression was 0.94, for anxiety 0.87, and for stress it was 0.91, which are very solid scores. And it also had very high internal consistency scores as well. One thing that I did find interesting is that technology is being such a huge factor in administering tests. I saw that this test was able to be administered by either paper or computer. In fact, the manual mentioned that if this test is administered by a computer, the scores would be generated right away, which I think is a huge plus. But one thing further that I would like to see is the norming information and how that would play into this assessment. I could not find this information as of yet, and so I'm wondering if it would probably be in the manual that you would have to pay for. So I am going to keep researching because that is definitely information that I think would be extremely helpful. Thank you.